Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. It feels so good to be back in Newcastle. The 2021-22 season is now over. That's now in the past. I've just got off the train before I head straight down to the quay, so I thought I'd get a video done today. But it's good to be back. I'm very happy to be back, and I'm looking forward now for this summer transfer window. We've got our full focus now on the window. Who will we sign, who will we sell? But pretty much this video, as you can see in the title, is dedicated towards the Newcastle United players in the current team now. There's a lot of news regarding which players could be out the door. Huge hint dropped by Issac, Hayden, as well as I've got Jordan injury updates, Callum Wilson. We've got all sorts to talk about. Tomorrow's video is going to be about incoming signings, because there's been a lot of transfer news as well. So as always guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to head down here, hit that subscribe button. It keeps you guys updated. You don't want to miss tomorrow's video, that's all I'm going to say. The question of the day: out of the two players I'm going to talk about in this video that could leave the club, do you want them to stay? That's going to be the question. Quickly, a bit off topic of this, but I was actually almost late getting back to Newcastle. Long story short, I was on the train and some guy didn't have a ticket and he just refused to get off the train. So the train was delayed because some guy wouldn't leave the train. Never ever seen anything like that in my life. The guy literally refused to go for a train, and we tried for about 10 minutes to get him off, and eventually someone just kicked him off. So yeah, that was a story to tell you. But anyway, sorry about that. Let's get into all the news now. It was a bit windy, so I thought I'd move location. Anyway, we begin off on Matt Ritchie. Someone that a lot of journalists have said throughout the week was to keep an eye on what subs Newcastle made against Burnley in their final game of the season, because they could potentially bring on a player that may play for the last time. Matt Ritchie came on for the last 10 minutes or so to go, and in that time, yeah, he did his job, no complaints there. However though, as he played for the last time for Newcastle, he's someone that I think Newcastle personally would end up selling. I wasn't too sure we'd do it in this window or the next window, but I think within the next year we will sell him. However though, was that a hint yesterday? I don't know, that one's up for debate. Do you think Matt Ritchie is going to leave after playing his final game yesterday, or you think we just bring him off the bench for whatever reason? Personally for me though, I think it is hinting towards the fact we might sell him in the window. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a giveaway. It's not as bad as the Hayden one. His was a dead giveaway, but Matt Ritchie, you know, he's not entirely sure on this one, but I think it is definitely a possibility. One thing I'm sure a lot of Newcastle fans were gutted by yesterday was Jordan's injury. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be too bad. This seems to be a massive cut really in his leg. Jordan himself came on Instagram and said that he's fine, so hopefully he'll return soon. At the time when he got stretched off, I think every Newcastle fan was just thinking, oh no. And to be fair, Jordan, in a few seasons being at Newcastle, I don't think he's ever had an injury. Like, he's been injured at all. He seems to be a player that can always last throughout the season, and especially this year, he's been incredible since Eddie Howe came in. So at first yesterday when I saw it, I really felt like I was a broken leg or something really bad went wrong there. Thankfully though, it seems to be a bit more of a gash than anything else. So I mean, obviously it's not great, but it's not as bad as it seemed to be at first. So thankfully he's okay, and fingers crossed he'll be back in time for the pre-season tour. I'm sure he will be. Speaking of injuries, let's talk about Callum Wilson now. Somebody that just can't stay fit, and it's a shame because he's such a good football player. Again yesterday against Burnley, he's just a menace. He gets in behind all the time. He knows where to pick out the space. He can finish his chances. He's just such a good all-round striker. And let's talk about his Instagram story now, because he posted on a post there just mocking the Burnley fans. Really, he watched his first goal yesterday. He's celebrating right in front of the Burnley fans, really giving it to them. And that's one thing I quite like about him, his cockiness. I really like how good he is, because he just knows he's a good football player and he likes showing it to other people at times. Now, I think it has to be a bit of a bad sometimes. I think you can argue that's quite disrespectful to the Burnley fans yesterday. But, I mean, if it wasn't for these sort of things in football, it would be a boring sport. So, listen, I'm glad he scored 2 goals yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, you can see in his Instagram post that he really is giving it to the Burnley fans. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's fair, or do you think he's taking it a bit too far? Matt Targett, Newcastle's loan player from Aston Villa. He is yet to have his meeting with Eddie Howe, but he will get taught in that meeting with Eddie Howe whether the club want to keep him or want to let him go back to Aston Villa. We already know that Matt Targett wants to move to Newcastle. He's been very happy in his time here, and he's been quite vocal on social media that the fans know what he wants, and he knows what he wants. He wants to come to Newcastle in the summer. £50 million an obligation in his contract. Newcastle couldn't buy him for that amount of money. Will we do it? Now, I'm going to talk about this a lot more tomorrow, but we are linked to another left back at the same time with this one, and that one's like in advanced talks. So what's going on here? I mean, we're going to try and sign 2 left backs at once. I think that's quite unlikely, especially if this so-called £50 million is our transfer budget, which, by the way, I don't think that's true. I talk about this a bit more tomorrow as well, but I do feel like Newcastle are just not going to give stuff away, so we're going to almost just mislead the media and tell them that we're going to spend less than we actually are, just to prevent us getting mugged off many clubs. But yeah, I think we'll spend a lot more than that, personally. But the point is, if we're trying to sign our left back now, what's going on Matt Target? I don't know, I can't get my finger around this one. I'll be honest, we're trying to sign 2 left backs at once, so we actually going to cut Matt Target loose, which I can't see happening because he had such a good season at Newcastle. Now, I think £50 million for him is just borderline a bargain. So I don't know what's going on here. We'll talk about it a bit more tomorrow, but this one's still rattling my head a bit. I think we will get Matt Target, but we're trying to get someone else at the same time, so I don't know what on earth's going on. Quickly regarding Newcastle's season in the Premier League, so we finished 11th. We could have finished 14th if we lost the game. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but that's actually a £7 million difference what we can spend on players. That could be a new signing, it's as simple as that. It was huge for us to get 11th place yesterday. And I mean, let's think about the last 2 results, by the way. We're beating Arsenal and we're beating Burnley. The win against Arsenal stopped them getting Champions League football, and the win against Burnley sent them down to the Championship. That's how ruthless are we as a football club now. We're completely killed 2 club seasons just like that one performance. I'm extremely excited to see what we can do with a proper transfer window, with time to spend and time to get that team gelling together for the new season. We can do God knows what. Points per game since the Christmas window would have been 3rd in the league. This is the Premier League chart, by the way. Ever since game week was at 24 or something, just look at that chart. We just continue to soar higher and higher up, and it's just exceptional. We are the first team to ever stay up after failing to win the first 14 matches. And listen, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that new transfer window. But anyway, let's talk about the big topic now. Let's talk about Isaac Hayden'S emotional message to Newcastle United fans now. So today he came out on Twitter. That's his post there. Read that last sentence. I think that's a dead giveaway in my opinion. He came out and he's acknowledged his last 6 seasons at the club, reflected on his time at the club. I think that's a goodbye message, to be honest. Yes, it's still not confirmed. Maybe he's just saying thanks in general, but I really do feel like that's a giveaway. I think the way he's came out of it, and just in general, the fact he's not in the 25-man squad, I think it'll be quite similar to Sean Longstaff's situation, where the player might not be happy with the game time he's getting. And I think it's his time. Now, Isaac Hayden, over the last few years, he's always had a sort of homesick problem. His family have always wanted to go back down to London. There's always been rumours that he could be heading back down south. But he has always stayed at this football club because he knew we needed him. He stuck by us when so many hours left, and he continued to put in good performances week in, week out. Now, yes, I'm not happy with him this season, I'll be honest. But that was the same with so many other football players. And my argument was, well, he has never played on Eddie Howe, so he could potentially improve on Eddie Howe, just like so many others have. Kraft, Lascelles. By the way, Lascelles yesterday, I thought he was immense in the game. Shelby, Jordan, Fraser, the list goes on. So if those players can improve, why can't Isaac Hayden? That was always my argument. But with that message now from Hayden, it looks to me like he's ready to move on. And with the fact that Matt Target hasn't had his meeting yet with Eddie Howe, it could suggest to me that it's also Isaac Hayden hasn't really spoke with the club properly about it. It's just kind of he's ready to move on and whatever's next for him. I don't know, that's a speculation for me, but I do generally think the player wants to move on, which is why he's put that out there. I mean, I'm happy with his time. I'm a bit gutted with the way things have ended, but he's had a really good spell in Newcastle, no doubt about it. I've been very impressed with him. And whatever happens in the future, it's going to be a good time for him, I know that. But anyway, guys, what do you think about that one? Do you think he's leaving the club? For me, that's a giveaway, to be honest, but real good emotional message to the fans there. I think a lot of people really have sort of sit back and went, ooh, maybe my comments towards him are harsh, but yeah, I'm sure the fans appreciate that. And whatever happens, Hayden, thank you for your time at the club. Finally, let's talk about Sean Longstaff now and finish the video off on him. It's still been quite quiet regarding his contract. As I said, it does run out in the summer, so unless they extend his contract will go in the summertime. Now, his brother Matty Longstaff previously actually ran his contract down, and then the club offered him a new contract shortly after it expired, and then he signed a new one. However, with the takeover now, it's more likely that the club won't do that. They either extend now, or once that contract expires, he'll be out. I kind of feel like that's where the club will be with him. And if Isaac Hayden goes as well, we could have a bit of a midfielder crisis unless we sign somewhere else, which, I mean, the club is going to do. There's a lot of clearing out though, and I mean, yeah, I don't know what's going on with these two. Was Sean Longstaff extend his contract? I think the last couple of performances have been a lot better, and I think if Eddie Howe gives him that reassurance that you get a bit of game time, I think as a squad rotation player, you do his job, but you can't expect more than that. You can't expect to start week in, week out. In my opinion, it's not going to happen. He's a player that will be on the bench with the likes of Willock, and he's just not going to start for me. For me, it'd be Bruno, Joe Linton, and if we sign someone else, and it'd be Shelby, Willock, and Longstaff all on the bench. I mean, what a bench that would be. But yeah, to me, Sean Longstaff is nothing more than a squad rotation player, and he has to know that. But anyway, guys, going to finish things off there. Let me know what you think down below. Video just dedicated to all our players there. A lot will go, but a lot will come in as well. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's video because there's some advances going on. There's a lot of different transfer news coming out, so I'm really excited to get into it. But anyway, regarding this video, guys, Matt Ritchie and Isaac Hayden, as I said in the intro, do you think those two will stay? That's the question there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.